Hey, I'm Dylan Slocum.
Kyle McCauley.
And we play guitar for Spanish love songs. I don't know, my dad bought me a guitar when I was 8. And like for no reason. I was playing baseball at the time. And I came home and there was a guitar in my room, and then it sat under my bed until I was 13. My older brother's friend taught me Damn It by Blink-182. And I was like, I'm a guitarist now.
Well, I started playing music in the 6th grade on the drum line, and I did that all the way through high school, and then eventually I knew too many drummers, and so I had this friend and he knew guitar very, very well, and so he taught me bass. And then he moved back to Canada, so then I just learned guitar and taught one of my drummer friends how to play bass.
You learned guitar because you knew too many drummers?
Yeah, it's a very weird problem.
That's like so backwards.
Yeah, I knew like 12 drummers, but nobody that played guitar.
Bunch of nerds.
That was weird.
Before you left for Portland, I'm thinking about dying again.
I wasn't really focused on guitarists. I don't really fancy myself a good guitar player. So, like, I was more focused on people who made me like feel things, I guess.
Not even a good guitar player, but one of the reasons why I wanted to start playing guitar was just Johnny Ramone looked so cool playing on all the Ramones videos. So
that's fair.
I learned a lot of the power of simplicity through that, and how you don't have to be a virtuoso to like connect with people.
I don't think either of us considers ourselves good guitarists.
No.
In the middle, you meet me north of Buffalo, escaping to the winter.
We were a 3-piece when we started. It was me and Ruben and our bassist Gabe, and I was like, I need another guitarist. I'm not good enough to do this. Also, like, it's just limiting, and I'm like, our songs are incredibly simple, but if you got rid of a guitar, they are sadly simple. Like, not listenable simple. And so he was like, let's just hit this kid up. He seems cool. He goes to all the same shows as us and stuff. And then I think he practiced with us once, and we were like, hey, you want to join our band?
Yeah, you had the hard drive in the back of your car.
Yeah, with the original recordings.
So I just took those and started mixing them, and then I was like, they kind of suck. Do you just want to redo them?
At my fancy studio that I work
My
at.
fancy studio for free. So that was our first record.
Rather be sheep in a snowstorm.
The songs that come out of us tend to be pop punk, but I think like we want to be a rock band. Like when people ask us what we play, I just say rock and roll now, and that's both. I mean, it's intentional, but not from like a cynical point of view. But like, I don't understand why you wouldn't be in a band and not want to be the biggest band on the earth. And like the way to do that, at least the way that we feel like comfortable trying to really embrace who we are and do what we want, is just to write big rock songs in the vein of stuff that we like and listen to. And
I feel like with Schmaltz being out, we've kind of broken down the walls that say we have to do this because we're part of this. Now we're just kind of like with the EP, we just sat around and just did what we wanted to do without being like, oh well, we got to write this record so we can play this festival. Like we just.
And there's still some like self-editing going on, because "Losers" when it first was written sounded like a National song.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa, too hard left. Like we love the National, but like we gotta steer it back towards the middle.
Still down at the core, they're gonna be Spanish love songs.
My favorite part of when we're playing music is like the really epic, kind of cinematic stuff. So I think honing in on that, and then lyrically finding a way to not just sit around and complain about how bad I feel, because it's getting not old. I know a lot of people want to know that other people feel that way, but I think there's other things we can talk about that other people are thinking too. So I think the guiding principle of this band is to make sure that people know that they're not alone. But like, there's other ways to feel not alone than me just complaining about being depressed. And, you know, I would hate for somebody to listen to our music and like align to it in the way that they feel more alone because of how bad the world is. Right. You know, I would rather I hate the phrase building a community, but like I'd rather people come together. That's a synonym. But like, you know, we want to reach for the positivity, and we'll probably land somewhere in like the world's bleak, but like maybe there's some cool stuff to go do while it's slowly crumbling.
I'm down on my knees and blacking out in strip malls to avoid.
I didn't have my first orange amp until this last album. I watched so many guys growing up in pop punk bands play those sweet Thunderverb heads, and I was like, I want that. But my parents support my music career and it helped me a lot, but it was always one of those items that was like next level. Like when you're a pro, you can have that. And then I just ignored it for years because I just played my gear. But then I bought a dual tear, and then you bought an OR15, and like half of our album is an OR15. Just an OR15 dimed.
At least one side of the rhythm track of all schmaltz is just an OR15 just like turned all the way up.
Yeah. It's the coolest tone.
And at the studio, NRG Studios, where I worked and where we did the record, they have a 1974 OR 120 and a matching 412 cab. So that saw its appearance. I think that might have been the only cab we used. The studio has like 30 different heads, but I think that was the one cab that we just used the entire time.
Yeah, and then after the album, I was like, okay, well, if this album is half orange amps and half the amp that we both already play, I should probably try to do it. So I finally went out and got my own 8030, and I was like, I remember the first time I took it to practice and plugged it in, and I hit a chord, and I was like, oh, it's what I've always wanted it to be.
That's kind of exactly how I felt at Fest last year when we plugged into. They had it was an 8030 head. We flew, so I didn't have like my full pedal board or anything, and I just remember like just plugging it in and just like strumming and being like, oh, okay, this is.
It's nice when you hear what you want to
cool.
hear. Subconsciously, always been up for us, and I think it's a very distinct flavor too, because we both love the 8030.
Yeah.
So it's like that specific kind of British voicing, but with that kind of orange flavor and that orange overdrive. We're using a rocker verb head on this tour, and it's great, and it's like got that sweet crunch, but I still can't wait to get home to like. Also, mine's a combo. Like I'm too old to haul around a half stack anymore, so I'm just like I can't wait to get home to my little baby combo and just kind of swing it around and get it on stage.